Okay, folks, Mr. Black Bear. This is 7'2" from the floor to the ceiling. This big gentleman right here gave me a thrill years ago, and he still gives you a thrill when you get too close to him. He's a good size one. I was hunting in Canada back in 1979. As a matter of fact, you look right here. I had him mounted years ago, and he was 7-10 foot away when I last encountered him. So, if I remember that right, yep. I can tell you about him. We were running with dogs that day, and I'd already encountered him twice. And first time he was crossed about 75 yards, and I hit him low in the chest, and about right in there. Didn't put him down. He got by me. We were running with a pack of dogs that a friend of mine owned. And truth is, I'm just not the best runner in the world, and me and another fellow took off after him, and that fellow was outrunning me, without a doubt. So I just told him, I said, you stay with the dogs, you catch him, you get him. I'm going to cut across country, hope he'll turn and come around. So I started up a big ridge, and when I topped out on that ridge, he had turned, and sure enough, he came right back up on top. And come up there and bayed. I was trying to get in close to him. I was shooting a 308 with a 2x7 scope. And I got about 15 foot from him, but he was in a thicket with a pack of dogs all over him. And I couldn't take a shot. And then he busted out of there, come right out across the top of me, went right by me at about 15 foot again. And I was squatted down. I couldn't use the sights, couldn't see a thing in the dark. So I just pointed the barrel as he went around me. And when he lined up, I pulled the trigger again, hit him again behind the shoulder. And I staggered him this time. He almost went down. But he recovered, kept on going, and they busted out of sight. Dogs are right on top of him. I stayed with him, and about 65 yards later, he bayed out in a little glade, and he was sitting upright, smacking dogs left and right, and I couldn't shoot because the dogs was all over him. So he looked over his shoulder, saw me, and took off. Well, when he took off, he went across a mound. When he went across that mound, that put him about 3 foot above the dogs. And I was able to put one in his tailbone. And when I hit him right there, that was my third shot into him with my 308. He went down like a poleaxe. And I thought, all right, I finally got him. And I go running up there, and there's dogs all over him. They everywhere pulling on him. He ain't moving. So I was trying to walk around from his rear end, go to the front so I could see what his face looks like, see if he is alive. I can't shoot because of the dogs, but I need to know. And I probably maybe 7, 8 foot away, 9 foot away. He spins, and up he comes, and he leaps straight at me. Well, I'm using a gun with a scope. You can't fire. You can't fire a scope at 7, 8 foot at an object in midair that's black. Try it. It don't work. So I knew instantly when he leaped at me that the only thing I could do, I stuck the barrel out. And I said, when he hits the end of the barrel, I'll pull the trigger. And basically, that's what I tried to do. Tried to shoot him between the eyes because he was in midair with his arms reaching out and his mouth wide open. Well, I missed. And what I'd done, I cut the bullet, went right in behind his head. In other words, over his head, into his back, and it broke his neck. Killed him dead in midair. Well, when he came down, the mouth, the head was between my legs. The big shoulders right there was wrapped around my waist, and his body, he came down on the top of his head. And there I was. He had me pinned with his front shoulders and his head, and his butt was up in the midair in my face. And it looked like if he fell over, he was going to squash me. And I'm trying to get out from under him, but he's got my feet pinned with his shoulders. He's upright on top of my legs and my feet. So 3 of the other fellows come running up there, and I'm hollering, get him off me, get him off. And they're laughing so hard they can't stand it. And finally, they rolled him off my feet. And they said, well, what was you planning on doing? I said, I was planning on killing him. And they said, well, looks like to me y'all was trying to get real personal. I said, not hardly. So come to find out, what I didn't realize was that bullet that broke his neck, that was the last bullet in my gun. I only had 4, and that was the 4th round. So if I had to finish him off with that bullet in midair, I know he was going to chew me up, but he probably would have finished me off because I didn't have anything to fight with anymore. I was out of ammunition. So this is what happens when you take on a big bear. You better go, I'd say carry 5 bullets instead of 4.